Oh, $1. Oh, $1.
It has come to our attention that some things I said last show offended some people. In a fast paced, cutting edge, off the cuff show like this, mistakes are bound to happen, but that does not make it okay. I regrettably said things in the spirit of trying to be funny that offended some people. I regret saying what I said, and I'm truly sorry. It is important to understand that my views and opinions expressed by me are mine alone and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Quick Commentary. Any content provided by me, Corrosive, or any of our guests are of their opinion and not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Thank you. We're back.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Not much. This was literally, I was just going live to shit on Rebel with a silent stream and show that I can get 40 people with nothing.
Oh, yeah, I saw you were live and you weren't talking. I'm like, Discording you. I'll come up.
Yep. Every time I make a title, it's like, this is absolutely not going to happen. It happens.
Yeah. So what's been going on? Like, I pop in every now
Everybody's
and again.
insane.
It looks pretty crazy, man.
Everybody's fucking nuts. Aside from that, I don't know. This year's the long hot summer that we were promised last year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know all the stuff that's going on. I just everywhere you go, you hear some new thing, and it's hard to catch up once you're gone for a little bit, especially with all the new. There's all these new characters that I have no idea who they are, like on the shit show and Jamie's panel and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, that's AC goes out trolling and he brings back entire communities. We've told him to stop because he keeps leaving them on the doorstep and they're not all the way dead yet. But it happens, and then we get to deal with their crazy people. So we got the whole Nicolina, Karen, Ernie Shell, that whole universe being dragged into it now, and that's all a mess from the Summer Wells case. Like these people are all their tragedy pimps. Run around talking about true crime, and Ernie particularly is grifted for a long time over how he's if you just get Ernie enough money, you just give me enough money, brother. How do you just give me enough money? I'm gonna go solve it. And usually they end up just tramping through crime scenes and messing stuff up. And in some cases, the families of the people that are lost are actually end up taking out lawsuits on them to get them to stay the hell away. I think is it Bowler and Betty or Molly just got sued, like 3 different things, telling her to stop harassing people over court cases or
Yeah,
over
I've
missing
heard that
persons
too.
cases.
That's the one that like harasses families and stuff, right?
Well, they all do. They all do. And they're not out looking for the kid. They're out pointing cameras at the house of the grieving parents, and casting suspicion on them in many cases. In some cases, they're flat out accusing the wrong people and getting the public pissed off about something that's not even being suggested by anybody. It's ridiculous.
Chat said something about Shelly. What did she do?
She shellied. She keeps shellying.
What
Everywhere Golden guys, everywhere Golden goes, Shelly has to jump in chat, just start, harassing.
I did see a piece of that. I thought there was something different. I did see some of that. That was on yesterday, right?
Yeah. Last night on it's Lisa's stream.
I have a super secret sock account no one knows about. It's called Clever Name. No one's figured it out yet.
Yeah, nobody's figured it out. Nobody.
They keep calling me QQ, which is weird, but they haven't figured it out. No. Who's this Hammy girl? Like I see her, she's brand new, right?
Oh my god, Hammy's relatively new. Hammy came from Rada went up to yell at Madman one night, if you remember Madman.
Oh yeah, I love that dude. I mean, not in a good way, like he's crazy.
Yeah, Madman was all drunk and shit, and Rada went up to yell at him, and Hammy was in Madman's chat. She's part of the pom pom squad for Madman, and she followed Rada home, and she's been in Discord pretty much screaming all caps all day ever since. She's got some something for D-Ban, man. She chases D-Ban around yelling, "Go D-Ban, go live! D-Ban, go live!" So
Why is she named after a book?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I have no idea. Hello, Wicked.
I saw that and I'm like, wait a second. That's a book's name. Like, or that's Half Pint. That's that's from Little House on the Prairie. What are you talking about?
Oh, that you're talking the Lars Ingalls Wilder thing. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, you can sit there and talk about your ancient Greek blood and how the Greeks invented literature and medicine and libraries, education, and all that fun shit. But apparently, never invented working for what you want. But you know, to throw up Laura Ingalls Wilder as a true dox of someone in the community means you're not engaging your brain. I do not believe that at some point in his life, Rebel has not run across Little House on the Prairie. I just don't.
well,
Well,
things have changed, but we had to read it at one of the books in like middle school.
yeah,
Eh,
yeah. Not
uh,
only that, but then you've also got he's doxing
shit.
defends dog. Like he's got defends dog, like doxes it name defends dog. And it's not even the right name. It's not even the right name for defends dog.
I wondered why Alex would give you a Discord, but she got a wrench for it. That's how it worked, huh?
The
You
reason
traded her
Alex
you
the
traded her
reason
a wrench
Alex
for
has
the
no
Discord, right?
the reason Alex has a wrench in here is there was a couple of doxes that were running around that she knew and didn't want to tell anybody else so she could pop them. And so I gave her a wrench. And because
Oh,
I trust Alex, but she had
that's
the
a good
wrench
cover
long,
story.
long before I had the Discord.
I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, you
Plus,
should do the boobs for wrenches. It's very, very it
no,
worked well.
nope, 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 nope. Don't want nothing to do with that.
I saw Fungus was back on Polly's.
Yeah, man, she is. I think she's in a really good place. She's really in a good place right now, especially after talking to her in Discord for a while.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's working hard. She's loving her job. She's got a boyfriend that you know they went to some Santa Cruz, I think, some skateboard apparently, or a place in California, one of those two. And she's just happy. She's not being spastic like she used to. So good for her. Good for her.
Well, I mean, I want a little of the spastic. I love the if you start yelling at her, she takes the headphones off and like does other things until you're done.
Yeah, she doesn't. I don't think she's in that headspace anymore.
I
I
love
think
that.
she's happy with herself. You know, like well, I don't know how much I can say, but she's like, yeah, I'm not like, I don't have an eating disorder. I'm not coping with the tragic loss of a parent. And I'm not self medicating anymore. So I feel much better now.
Yeah. Cool. What else is going on? Who's COVID's? I hear
Oh
his
my
name a lot.
God. So COVID's is this dude. Um, he uses, how do I start to describe COVID's? He uses heavily filtered pictures. He does these videos where he's like sitting in his car or like sitting in his backyard. And he's got big mirrored shades on and a big stogie in his mouth. And he's smoking his giant cigar and blowing the smoke out. And he shoots his watch out and he rattles his watch around so you can see he has a very big and clearly expensive watch. And then he sits there and under his shirt, you can see his pecs popping while he's sitting there, just like looking at the camera. It's the weirdest goddamn thing. It is like I would expect Sancho to do that, not COVID's. And then he keeps getting wrapped up with these women on YouTube, and he's like apparently all up in their DMs. I don't know how much is true. I don't know what's all rumor. I'm not making any attacks. But while I've seen him, he's been with and then fought with like a dozen women. I like seriously, this isn't farmers only, man. Don't date on YouTube or in rehab. I'm just saying.
I learned that the hard way. Faint farmers only, ladies.
Liz, Rebel was jealous of COVID's. Now he's jealous of Ernie Shell. Have you seen how many of Ernie Shell's bodies Rebels put his face on and put it up there? does his accent. He imitates him. He's got a whole intro that's like Ernie Shell's intro.
Golden's into him. Golden's the next victim. You can tell.
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
You go, girl. So I heard that in Discord, Goldeneye's like rolls Nichols down her boobs and they ramp off of her nipples. Did you see that
Yeah,
yesterday?
no, I have no evidence that has ever actually happened. I think that might just be a rumor.
Oh. Well, I mean, it came from a reliable source in chat. I forget who, but
Settlement?
reliable enough.
Well, yeah.
It's when you have the bias towards what you want to hear, then you can. Because I believe that. I believe it wholeheartedly.
What am I checking? Oh my god, I'm yawning. Oh, I'm sorry.
So there's other names that I've heard. I'm trying to think of them.
Well, I'll go through them. I'll see how many people I can get to hate me by giving you accurate yet humorous descriptions of them.
You said Ernie Shell. I have but I don't care. The Karen. Karen is Kevin, right? They're the same.
Well, I won't call that person Kevin because I'm not a giant.
But when people say both names,
that's Karen. Yeah. And I think Karen has abandoned the internet for a while. I think Karen left because the last time their channel went live, it was like Jimbo and Mr. T or something like that, which is just a cataclysm of morons. Just one guy just rattles on in the background like he talks, the other one goes woo in the background all the time, like discount Ric Flair, just woo in the back. Can I get a hallelujah? Woo! Just randomly in the background. It's the weirdest goddamn thing. But yeah, Karen's from that whole Nickelina verse, and she ended up fighting with some people, and then was friendly with some people, and then like it's another one of those cases of those people where you're super tight with them for a month, and then all of a sudden you're in the wrong chat, and they're doxing you and chasing people away, and that kind of crap. It's just I watch that from a distance. I don't get involved.
I just like other people will talk about it, and then you'll hear about it, and then somebody had a link to it, and I think that was her last show because she said she was leaving the internet forever, and she was like talking about coming home from the army or whatever she was in, and hiding in the back of a truck.
Yeah, I think whoever is repeating that story is getting it wrong. I don't think Karen left for the army a man and came home a woman. I think Karen left for the army, came home from advanced infantry training school, which is, I think, what Karen was saying she came home from, as a man, and the parents didn't even notice. And I think the other things happened later down the road. I don't think those were concurrent issues.
I got you.
And I feel very bad for that person when they're telling a personal story like that, and all people do is make fun of it.
Well, that's what they do here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still feel bad for them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's what they do here. Who else did I just see recently that I was questioning or trying to figure out? Oh, did you hear the story about 0151?
The doll?
Yeah. So I was hearing that. I offered him $160 for it.
No, Harry, I said advanced infantry training. God damn it.
Training school. That's a new branch that they just started. So anyway, so he sent it to me. The vibrating mouse doesn't work. It's got patches, and then it's got like that Flex Seal stuff, patches all over it, like total piece of junk. So I called him, and I'm like, I emailed him back. I was like, hey, I want a refund on this. And he was like,
Flex Seal's so good, I sawed a doll in half.
And he won't give me my money back.
I wonder why.
And the other thing is, the front girly part still had the plastic wrap over it, like it was brand new, and the butt part of it's just blown the hell out.
Oh, you're killing me, man. Rada would like to know if he said all sales final. Also, Rada might want to take it off your hands.
So apparently he's giving it to someone else now. That's a true story. Kinda.
Kinda not at all.
Did you see the Olympics? That dude from France or something. So it's like shooting, pistol shooting, and everyone's
Turkey.
going
He's
up
from
there with
Turkey.
like all these like fancy glasses and all kinds of fancy
Mhm.
stuff. He walks up in there like puts his hand in his pocket and gets the silver medal.
He's literally wearing his street jeans and a t-shirt that says Turkey on the front with his shooter number on it. He walks up, he takes a stance straight out of the scene in Pulp Fiction where Sam and John Travolta are standing there with their guns pointed at the guy in the back room. Shoots his round, walks off, and asks where the nearest smoking area is, according to everybody that shot with him. He like comes in, shoots, and then asks where to go smoke. And he took what, silver?
Silver, yeah.
And then like they asked him, they're like, where did you learn to shoot? And he's like, well, I was particularly angry after some divorce negotiation with my ex-wife. And I wanted to hang out with my kids. So we went shooting. And then on the podium, he says, Sharon, I really want my dog back. Sharon, give the dude his dog back. We've seen this movie. That guy is whatever the Turkish version of John Wick is. Just give him his dog back. Save yourself the trouble.
The Olympics have been crazy this year. That opening ceremony was nuts.
I thought it was. I mean, do you ever think Gojira thought that they would be playing live along the banks of the Seine for the opening of the Olympics? I'm pretty sure every member of that band honestly will say, yeah, no, we never thought that was going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some parts of it were a little weird. Some parts of it were beautiful. I will say, having been in Paris 2 years ago, that they absolutely have spent months cleaning that city because it is not that clean. But you gotta understand Paris. I mean, everybody's like, how dare they do a drag show? I'm like, it's Paris, man. That's what they do. Like, if there is something that you hold dear, Paris is going to stick their thumb in your eye. That's just how they are.
Then they make it out to be like it's our fault, like we approved it or something. Like our government approved it or something.
Yeah, no, this is Olympics. Opening ceremonies are up to the IOC and the hosting country. That's it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, the people are like, I'm offended by drag queens. All the American athletes should come home. Fuck you and training your entire life to be in this match. I'm mad because my Sky Wizard told me to be, so you come home now.
So Taco cost me like $400.
Why? Hi, Taco.
Watching his stream, now I had to buy one.
Oh, God. Are you getting into Gunpla?
I've never put one together. I mean, I put models together when I was a kid. And so, you know, like cars and stuff, never anything like that.
These are so far beyond that, dude.
And so I'm watching and I'm like, man, that is cool. So I got to try it out. But those things aren't cheap, man.
Well, it depends on what set you get. They run from $30 to like $300-400. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what level you get.
Well, I had to get the highest level. I'm not dumb, right? I can put
did.
together anything. I haven't put a model together, and I'm gonna mess it up. My guess is that advanced of a model is like, oh, I didn't buy one, bro. There's a genetically similar young adult that lives in my house that wanted to do it too. So. I had to say it that way because Chicky yells at people if they talk about kids.
Yeah, I looked into that like back when the lockdowns hit and you couldn't go anywhere. There was no TV, there were no movies, there was nothing. I did a couple of things. I tuned up and restrung my guitars, and I was going to start doing model kits until I realized I didn't really have a place in the house to like leave them out. You know, because when you glue stuff, you got to leave it, or when you paint stuff, you got to leave it. I didn't really have a place I could do that without it getting messed with by cats or other genetically similar humans. And I ended up getting into 3D printing instead. So I like print transformers and then assemble them. And they're all like all the pieces are printed in color, and then you have to put them all together. Eventually, I want to learn how to actually model them myself. But yeah, it's the same idea, except if I break something, I just print a new one.
Oh God, I have so many Legos. I can't even tell you the amount of money I've spent on Legos in the past 20 years. I'd hate to add it all up. I'd
I've
hate to add
got,
it all up.
what do I have? I have the original Star Wars X-Wing set somewhere that I should reassemble. Once again, genetically similar human borrowed it and I got it back in pieces. I have the newer X-Wing, the Red 5 X-Wing that's got when you turn the back of it, the wings open up. It's got little rubber bands that make the wings open and close. And I've got the Dark Side Developer kit that makes a big walking at. And then everything else I have in Lego is old, like Lego airport shit. Back when the wheels were those little rubber,
Mhm.
those little rubber things on the tiny axles, like talking
So
like
we
80s
have
Legos.
I have the Harry Potter castle, the big one, and then the big train set, and then all of the individual pieces for the. I pretty much if there's a Harry Potter Lego set, we definitely own it. And
Oh
then
wow, yeah, those are
there's
the big expensive ones. Yeah.
and some of them are the smaller ones too. Anytime we see them somewhere, we get them. And then I don't have any Star Wars ones, but I have Lord of the Rings. I have several of those.
Shocker.
Uh, what's that?
Shocker.
Yeah. And so that and the between that and the Harry Potter and then the robot one, I don't know if you've seen this, but it's got motors and everything, and you can program the little.
Is it Bionicles?
It's
Like the
not
big Bionicle set?
Bionicles, it's something different. I forget what it's
Oh,
called, but it's got all kinds of motors and stuff, and it's got a little control box, and you could go to Lego.com and you could program the thing, and you can make it do. You can make like Ferris wheels and
oh,
automation
cool.
lines and all kinds of cars, all kinds of cool stuff.
That's neat. One of my kids got very into Ninjago. So there's a couple of the dragon sets floating around. The big Ninjago dragons, and then of course, you got to buy this one and that one and that one to get all the custom special edition Ninjago figurines. You can't just buy the damn minifigs. No, selling you a minifig for $10 would be too easy. You got to buy a $80 Lego set to get the minifig. Um, but it just amazed me how intricate those get. The design on some of those sets and the custom parts that they make, and the fact that you can right away and get any part you need. Like, I need 2 of these, 7 of those, and 12 of them, and they send it to you,
If you absolutely hate money,
except the minifigs.
if you absolutely hate money and don't ever want to retire, let your genetically similar house guests get into Warhammer.
No,
That will
just no.
basically just bankrupt you.
Dude, I know adults who got into it as adults and should know better and have bankrupted themselves. Like,
Mhm.
guys building 40K stuff that is the size of a coffee table, and they're like, "This is gonna win the game for me at the next meet." These people get in there and they spend 4 hours setting up all the quote unquote miniatures, some of which are 3.5 feet tall,
Then you're
down the
wait,
opposite sides of the table, and then it takes 10 minutes for the battle to be over.
then you got to turn your whole garage into a paint booth. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
What would you prefer, Vital? People screaming at each other? Shut up. Your icon is a comic book
A dude with
character.
a Spider-Man mask as his avatar is saying this is nerd.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, did you see the new Deadpool?
Oh my God. Yes. It's amazing. Have you seen it yet?
I have not. I've
Oh,
I've heard that it's really good though.
it is pure fan service. It is clearly was written and conceived and put together by somebody who deeply, deeply loves the character. Um,
Is that
and I
Disney?
will. Is that Disney? Did you say?
Are they affiliated? Are
Yeah. Oh
they
yeah. It's
affiliated with?
Disney. It's
So
Disney.
they
Yeah.
won one, right? Normally they fail, so they won one, right?
Well, they bought 20th Century Fox, and there was a big argument as to whether they would get this movie made because Reynolds was they had been talking about um uh doing 3 before Fox got sold, and then it got put on hold. And then as soon as Disney bought Fox, they basically went, "Yeah, Disney is never ever going to make an R-rated superhero movie, not with the MCU doing what it's doing and them, doing the MCU stuff." And So they pretty much decided that it wasn't going to happen. And then when he got it, Reynolds said they kept sitting down with like writing meetings and stuff and being like, yeah, we're gonna punt for 2 years and then come back to you when we come up with a better scripted out. He's like, we have no idea what we're gonna do. But we were telling him like we're still working on it. We're gonna take a couple of years. He said, and then like one day he called Hugh Jackman and said, hey, you want to come back? And Hugh went, I'll do it. And that afternoon they had the meeting and he had it all fleshed out in his head by the time they had the meeting, had pretty much the whole story worked out and just sat down and pitched it. And they went, yeah, we can do that. And so then they had to fight back and forth with Disney, and Disney had a couple of hard lines they wouldn't let him pass. Like, as they reference in the movie repeatedly, we can't actually do coke in this movie. Disney won't let us. They do everything else, but they're not allowed to do cocaine.
So they broke
which they
the
point
fourth
out
wall over and over again.
constantly. Dude, he shits on Disney at one point, like gets knocked into a 20th Century Fox logo half buried in the desert and left out to rot. I mean, it's pure Deadpool. And it's wonderful cameos as an homage to the characters that had movies that didn't do so well and kind of get forgotten, but still paved the way for what we have today.
That's cool. I love Ryan Reynolds, especially in that role. He really did well.
Yeah, I mean, I I think he's genuinely a Hollywood nice guy. I mean, I've never heard anybody have a bad thing to say to him. And same thing with Hugh Jackman. They both seem to be genuinely good people.
He's really funny on
Ryan's
talk shows too.
Yeah, well, their chemistry with each other is amazing. If you've seen the Kimmel Takeover where they interview each other and then interview one of the people from the movie, and whoever is in charge at whatever channel that is where Kimmel is on, thank you for not letting Jimmy Kimmel ruin it by being on stage that night, because Kimmel's just a dull thud and ruins everything. Just letting them go and do their thing was absolutely beautiful. And the whole movie is like that. The whole damn movie is like that between those two characters and every other
You don't
character.
like Jimmy Kimmel? That's weird.
Ugh.
Oh, you probably don't like his politics though. Like what?
Eh,
He's done some
and that
funny
he
shit.
has
Have
to
you ever seen the I'm fucking Matt Damon?
Yeah, and I
That's
remember Jimmy
hilarious,
Kimmel.
right?
I remember him on the Man Show, and then now all of a sudden he's like super duper pro feminist, and I'm like, come on, dude, we know how you got into show business in the first place. You were
I never
right up
saw
Adam Carolla's butt.
I never saw the Man Show. I only saw the opening. I'd watch the opening and then turn it off.
Girls jumping on trampolines. Of course, that's all you watched. And
And then there
Corolla
was
has
the
just charged straight on, and Corolla is exactly the same as he's always been, and he's picking up steam, and he's got more people listening to him all the time. So
Is he picking up steam? Because for a while there, he was like dead in the water. Like he was like
yeah, I think he's gone alternative media and is doing quite well for alternative media. He's not really mainstream, but then again, the kind of content he does isn't going to fit mainstream. That's not what big networks want.
things are more and
But
more going to that now.
yeah,
I mean, look at like Jelly Roll and Tom McDonald and new I forget their name, but the My House
what
song, New
Richmond,
Breed.
north of Richmond guy.
Oh, he's just a dork. I don't get like the first time I heard that song, I went, that's kind of catchy. Like I get it. It sounds cool. And then you hear it again and again, you go, this is just fucking corny. Like he's just saying corny shit. And then you like see him more and he's like talking about not having a record deal and being poor, but he lives on like a 200-acre farm before he even made the song. He lives on this like 200-acre farm somewhere in the South. But and then they did interviews with him. He doesn't sound anything like he's saying at all. I don't
I
know.
mean, I think his grab for why people got so amazed by him is nobody had ever heard of him. He literally, well, for all intents and purposes, came walking out of the woods and started singing like an early Hank Senior, and that caught people by surprise because they're so used to having these star overnight sensations rammed down your throat for 5 years before they become popular. That this guy, he touched a nerve, and people picked it up and ran with it. I'll listen to him over Tadoff Switler any day of the month, though. Know what I'm saying? Hello?
Sorry, I pushed the button.
Oh,
Where did I cut?
okay.
Did I cut off at?
While I'm in the middle of my talking, probably.
He does this like dog whistle. He said a couple phrases in there, like the Epstein thing and the fat people eating ding dongs that are like dog whistles, right? So it was picked up heavily by, especially like the far right, picked it up big. They played it at one of their conventions, and then he came out and said, "Yeah, you know this song is about you, right?" Like,
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had. He strikes me if he can keep writing songs like that, and that'll be the tell of whether he has staying power. Then he could end up being like the current equivalent of a classic folk musician, like a Pete Seeger or one of those guys. If he can't, then he's going to be a flash in the pan. Got moderate money real quick for appearances over a song that was, just lightning in a bottle.
yeah. So Big Brick in chat talked about Jelly Roll. I started watching him probably like 5, 6 years ago. No one really heard of him until Save Me came out, but he has some like really cool rap stuff that he did. Struggle Jennings and him have a couple songs that are really good. I never thought he would make it like big, but when Save Me came out, I went stop it. You know what I mean? That was a good song. And I think it touched a lot of people. I mean, when you got Eminem on his new album, basically just playing the whole song and talking in it just a little bit. He basically just played the whole song. It's a good ass song. But
Hmm.
Jelly Roll has a
Wouldn't
bunch
know.
of good songs.
I don't think I've ever intentionally listened to an Eminem song.
Oh, you've never watched Tommy D TV?
Yeah, I come in after he's done playing New Music Monday, which is every day. I'm not that into rap. It doesn't do anything for me. And the fact that everybody in this community now uses 10 minutes of rap intro and then says, "Good evening, everybody," and plays another fucking song. If I want to watch music videos, I will find them on YouTube and watch them.
Yeah, for sure. Who's the one dude that's got like an hour and a half of an intro?
Be our guest. Yeah, it's literally like an hour and a half. And I said, dude's an hour and a half of intro with ads in his intro. If your intro is getting interrupted for a YouTube ad, like your intro's too long, and people are like, well, I can see that he has a lot of followers and he wants to make sure that the notifications went out. People get in there. I'm like, it's an hour and a half. PewDiePie doesn't have an hour and a half intro. T-Series doesn't have an hour and a half intro. Come on.
Do you think like he does the intro and that's where he preps all of his show work stuff?
I couldn't tell you why he does it. And I don't have a problem with the guy's content. I don't have any issues with it. I like the way he presents stuff and seems to give both sides and
Yeah,
and
no.
and digs into things. It's just the hour and a half intro. And I'm like, because he's sometimes on somewhat late at night. I'm like, oh, it's like at 10 o'clock, this guy's coming on. I think I'll watch him before I go to bed. And at 10, and it's 11, and then it's 11:30, and he starts talking, and I'm like, and now it's time for bed. Great. I'm glad I wasted that hour and a half.
Hmm.
you know?
And he plays all kinds of different music.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
'Cause
going to do a music show, that's fine. Just do the music show and try not to get demonetized doing it. But just if I come for talk, I want talk.
Yeah, if you wanted to listen to the radio, you would just go and listen to the radio. You know what I mean? Peanut M&Ms are pretty good. I'm surprised they haven't collaborated. Why hasn't M&M's signed Eminem?
Well, maybe they will with this new incarnation. I
Mm,
do kind of like that Eminem's doing the David Bowie thing. He like reinvents himself every couple of albums, and he's a new character.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I've always liked Eminem. I mean, he's been around. He's been big since what, early 90s?
Yep. I mean, I appreciate the lyrics he writes. And when I say I can't stand rap, don't get me wrong. Some of the lyrics are amazing. The musical style itself doesn't do anything for me, and I find it jarring to listen to. It's a personal thing, and I'm not saying anybody that likes rap is in the wrong. Like whatever you like, but It's not something I'll put on in the background to bop around the house and vacuum to or whatever.
He doesn't sound like. I mean, I take he didn't sound like most rappers when he came out when he started. Now there's a lot of people that try to imitate him or sound like him, but for the most part, he had a really unique sound, kind of like Tupac. Have you ever heard of Tupac Shaker? You're not a rap guy.
I know who Tupac Shakur was. Come on, dude.
He had
I'm
a
not a rap
completely
guy, but I
different.
didn't live under a rock.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know how. So he had a pretty unique sound back in the day. Snoop Dogg, when he first came out, had a pretty unique sound. I'm not.
Yeah, and then
I
you
only
see
know pop rap. I don't know like deep rap. You know what I mean?
Snoop used to run around with a gun, like doing gangster rap shit. Now he's at the Olympics with Martha Stewart dressed up in an equestrian outfit, like introducing the dressage competitions, like with his little kid next to him, sleeping in mom's arms.
I love that shit.
He's come so far. He's come so far, man.
I think that's hilarious. When him and Martha Stewart did the cooking show together years and years ago, I thought that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
And you see the memes are like, one of these people is a felon, and it's not Snoop.
And then there's Snoop's got these dub over YouTube videos or TikToks. I forget which it is, but it's like a cat would be doing something, or like say a cheetah's chasing a gazelle through the wood, through the jungle or whatever, right through the Sahara, and it's Snoop Dogg over talking it like he's doing. It's so it's so funny, dude. The dude's hilarious.
Audie, can you crip walk? If you'll film up and crip walk, I might let you on panel.
I
Actually, I
bet
probably
she,
won't.
bet she can. I heard that Naughty Audie is a Crip and that Alex V is a Blood, and that they shot at each other once. That's what I heard.
Over tin cans thrown over a fence. Biff, we were talking about that guy that did Richmond, North of Richmond, or whatever the hell the name of that song was. The dude that came out of the holler and just had that perfect, like, country, whatever the, I forget the name, but it's a thing certain people can do with their voice where they can create a harmony
Twang.
with their voice that's almost a yodel.
And not miners on an island somewhere.
Like the guy from Hocus Pocus could do that super well. The keyboardist or Focus. I mean, and that dude, that blows my mind. Like anybody my age, we know Hocus Pocus by Focus, right? You remember that song? It's the one with the insane flute solo and the guy yodeling through the whole song. Apparently, there's a whole generation that has never heard of that song, and all of these voice coaches and music react channels and shit like that on YouTube are discovering it and hearing it for the first time and analyzing it. And the amazing thing is the version that they're using is this one that was on some TV show. I don't remember the name of it. Some TV show where they give a band a slot at the end of the show. And I think it was introduced by Dionne Warwick, somebody like that. Somebody super famous introduced them. But it's like say it's a 6-minute song, and they said, hey, you have like 4 minutes and 58 seconds, and it's a hard out. So take some of the song out. And they went, we're not going to take the song out. We're just going to play it faster. And they got the whole song sped up live and down into the time slot required.
It's hilarious.
And it was the one and only time there was ever a standing ovation live from the audience at the end of that show. But it's worth, I mean, if you just type Hocus Pocus by Focus, you'll probably find that show on YouTube. And it is nuts watching this manic keyboardist yodel, whistle, and play the flute in this just sort of nonsensical call and answer routine to himself.
Why did you shit on Taylor Swift earlier? Do you know how much money she brought to the NFL?
Stand her. Can't stand her. Taylor Swift is like
biggest relationship since Justin and Selena. I hope they never
Taylor
break
Swift
up.
is like the Jif and Wonder Bread sandwich of a packed lunch. Just ugh.
But it's a true love story. When Justin and Selena broke up, I had to miss like 5 days of work. I just couldn't get motivated to get out of bed. I don't even know how I'll get through a Travis Kelce, I don't even want to think
Oh,
about
I
it.
know
Like,
how
I
you'll
don't even
get
want to
through
think
it.
about
There will be 6 albums of Taylor Swift songs about him that you'll be able to listen to. That's how.
it. Do you know? Do you watch? You don't watch football very much, right?
No, I watch one game a year, and you can guess which one it is, and I mostly watch the middle of it.
Jason Kelsey, Travis's brother, is freaking. He's just the funniest dude. Like
Oh,
he's,
yeah, he's insane. He's absolutely an insane human being. I know that about him.
and then they have that podcast that they do. He's he. I mean, he retired from football fairly young. He accomplished everything. I want to see what he's going to go on to do. I think he would be a great announcer. I think he'd be a great like analyst. But he in his retirement speech he gave, like, I've never seen another football player's retirement speech publicized, and this one was like played everywhere, and it was really good. I think that
Yeah,
dude's awesome. But I do think that they brought more awareness to the NFL that wasn't there before.
because the NFL needed awareness. Now, what they brought was a bunch of women that wouldn't be caught dead watching football, who suddenly who wanted to watch Taylor in the stands and see what her boyfriend was up to, which is
And
fine. I'm not
a,
knocking it. I'm
a
not
lot of
knocking it.
young girls too. Like a lot of young girls came on. Like they were showing. I forget what I was watching it on, but they were showing like a dads with their daughters sitting there watching the football game and explaining the game to their daughters. I thought it was cool.
That's cool. And I know football. I thought that they had never really come back from the slump, the post pandemic slump, and maybe that helped drag it out. I don't know. Um, but
Who's
I've never been somebody that can sit and watch televised sports and root for a team. It has never interested me. So it's just one of those things.
who's the guy that was in NWA with not NWA, but in he was in with Dr. Dre and the dude with the clock, and then he went like mainstream. He's the guy who does the Crip Walk, and then he's in all the movies now, or was in all the movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Ludicrous,
No, fuck, what's his name?
Ice Cube.
It's the guy who does the Crip Walk. Help me
I,
out here, Big Brick.
I have no idea. Fo 20 says Ice Cube
Ice
as
Cube,
well.
Ice
That's
Cube,
2
Ice Cube.
votes for Ice. I just said that. You said no.
Oh, I thought you said someone else. So
I said
anyway,
Ludacris, and then I said Ice Cube.
so I was just reading on Google that Ice Cube's doing the Super Bowl this year, and apparently Naughty Yachty's going to do the Crip Walk Super Bowl
Where
halftime.
did you just read that?
I just Googled it after you told me who he was.
Oh, I see. And you read it in the title bar where you typed it into Google? Is that where you read it?
Yep. So apparently Naughty Yachty's famous and going to do a Crip Walk at the Super Bowl. Have you ever seen him do that crip? So there's this video of him doing a crip walk, but at the end of it, they just loop it, so it looks like he did like a crip walk for like an hour and a half.
Dude, I'm going to show my lack of hood here, but I had no idea what a crip walk was for the longest time. I honestly thought that there was something wrong with Snoop's fine motor skills and that he had crippling arthritis because he walked so weird and his hands were always mangled up. I had no idea that this was like an LA thing. I had no idea. Also, that man is tall. Holy
Yeah,
shit,
he
that man
is.
is tall. I was in a wax museum where they have a Snoop, and he is. I mean, I'm tall, and he is fucking tall, man.
What high school did you go to that you didn't crip walk everywhere you went?
Dude, I was out of high school in '87. I don't think crip walk was a thing then.
Oh, I didn't realize you're old. Fuck.
Yeah, shut up.
They had just invented walking then, right?
When I was getting out of high school, rap was Blondie. All right.
King Trolls. This was like last year or something. There was two people up there. It was King Troll and someone else, and they were talking about hip hop started in New York. So I went up there and said, I forget the group, but they were like from somewhere else. But I said they were the original hip hop people. They're corny. They're not like normal hip hop people. They were so mad, and they're like, "Who's this white dude?"
So did you say it was like the Fat Boys or something like that?
something like that. But it wasn't the Fat Boys. But it was like it was like it was one of the first like hip hop people that made it to the like ding dong, a hip a hop a hippity hop.
Oh,
It don't stop.
Rapper's Delight. Sugar Hill
Rapper's
Gang.
Delight. I said Rapper's Delight. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were
That
so
is
mad.
that is often acknowledged as the first true rap song, even though like Blondie, pardon me, Blondie rapped in Rapture, and there were a couple of other short rap bits, but that was the first one that was full blown. And people, if you ever catch Ross Kahn on panel, convince her to do Rapper's Delight. She can do the entire song beginning to end without missing a beat off the top of her head. It's fucking amazing.
Apparently, oh no, I won't. Apparently,
Oh, yeah,
Ross
you will.
Kahn also has another trait that she did not that long ago that I just heard about.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
And I am really disappointed that I missed it.
I am sure there are clips somewhere.
Alex.
I'm an old white dude. He's a not so old white dude.
Well, all right. I don't know how long you planned on going live, but I have a fence to paint, so I need to get
You
going.
and your goddamn fence.
I'll holler at you later, brother.
All right. Thanks for coming up. Everybody, thanks for watching. I didn't expect this to turn into a live show. I was just going to troll Rebel for a little while. But, I mean, it's nice to talk to you, Quick Quarter. I'm going to kill it, too. See y'all on Discord.
We'll do it again. Mondays is Wednesdays, 7 to 9.
No,
Be
we
there.
won't. No, we won't. No, we won't. Have a good one, everybody. Have a great weekend.